Good evening. Hello out there. This is Lady Lou, the baby boomer babe. Welcome to our Wisdom Chats for the Curious show. We are so tickled to be here tonight. And hello, Marian LaSalle. She's our go-to when we have technical challenges.
I needed help today, let me tell you. Something in the air.
I know it happens. And our special Peggy Sue Skipper. Hello, Peggy.
Hey, Lady Lou, and everybody.
And everybody, we're tickled. And our special guest co-host is Tony Cecala. Did I say that right, Tony?
Yes, you did, Lady Lou.
I got it.
Thank you.
He is the co-founder with Felicia Weiss of the Wellness Expo that's coming to Houston in September. And they've already had their Dallas show just a few weeks ago, and it was wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking forward to having the show in the Houston area. Oh, so soon. We're waiting for it. So let me turn it over to Marian for a minute, and she will continue on.
Oh, I'm going to continue on. There we go. Yes. I'll tell you, I look forward to this show so much. And Tony, you are like, a superstar. And so we've been so looking forward to having you on tonight. We're going to drill you. You ready?
I'm ready for anything.
Gosh,
I like that attitude.
I've heard so many good things about you. And we've been waiting for so long. It's like been a real big buildup, So welcome. We're really happy to have you here. Now, tell us a little bit about yourself, because you haven't been on the show before. And so tell us a little bit about your background. We want to get to know you.
Yes.
Well, I've been in the background of the show. Whenever Felicia's on, I'm making sure that her technology is working, and I'm kind of scurrying around back there, you may have noticed. And that's really where it all started. I was interested in technology. I'm a psychologist, and Felicia and I met the first day of college, in fact, in a psychology class.
Oh, interesting. That's an interesting place to meet.
Yes, yes. Well, you know how college is. It's kind of like, everyone's looking to meet people and date, and that was the sort of a dream come true for both of us, because we were talking to people during the first few days, and our conversation was the first one where it was really real, like it went beyond what was your SAT score, how that usually works.
Well, that's cool. Well, it's interesting because they said that you hadn't been on the show before, which is true, but Felicia's been on a couple of times, and you've been lurking in the background.
Exactly.
I'm
like, is everything okay? I got
yeah,
exactly.
But we never saw your face, so it's good to meet you.
Tony, I've got a real funny for you. The first day of my psychology class, they showed the movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
What? Oh my God.
I was like, this is going to be a fun class.
Yeah, buddy.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah, can you believe it? That scares you. Blow your mind.
Wow.
What?
Terrific. Oh, this is such a fun thing. Oh, we're so delighted to have you, Tony. And I was reading your little bio that you sent us that's in the description down below, that you're an avatar master. Tell us what that is.
Well, Avatar's an amazing system. It was developed in 1987 by a man named Harry Palmer. And Harry was studying the ancient writings, the Vedas, and studying all these different techniques. And he was in a flotation tank when it all came to him, kind of like a download, like the realizations of, how our consciousness works. And he got out of the tank, dripping wet, and wrote his notes down. And he was able to, unlike many other mystics who've done their very best to convey with words what it's like to transcend the mind, Harry actually wrote down a series of steps so that you too could do what he did in a series of exercises.
Can anybody do that?
Yes, absolutely.
I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
Absolutely. Well, it's easier than you think. There are about 30,000 avatar masters on the planet now who can take you through the exercises.
Lovely. Oh, are you planning a class anytime soon?
Classes are ongoing. Of course, things got a little, weird with the COVID thing,
Yeah.
but we are the network has expanded to doing classes on Zoom, so you can do the introductory classes on Zoom, and then later do the in-person classes because it's really an in-person thing.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, because I have in certain situations, and not often, I have to say, but I'm wondering if this is what you're talking about. I've been in meditative situations where I literally, I don't know how to describe this, dissolved and was just part of pure love. I mean, that's the only way I can describe it. It was just a seamless, expansive energy of love. And it was really amazing. So is that what you're talking about?
That's a part of the course. Absolutely. That experience is a part of the course, actually more advanced. That happens on like day 7 or 8 of the course. So you have experienced that already, and you've had that, because each of us are in a different path. Then some people have that naturally. They just can have that experience. And the Avatar course is a series of steps that take you through quieting your mind, take you through the first part of creating your own reality, as we all know how that focused mind can create a new reality, a new personal reality. My granddaughter likes to play If You're Happy and You Know It, clap your hands, etc. And it's like when you see her little face, she's blissful, when she's doing it, because she really is happy and she knows it, And so Avatar is a lot like that. In the second part of the course, you learn to create a belief and have it manifest.
I needed that today. I needed that today.
We need that every day. We need that every day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
Well,
yes.
I knew I was going to love you, Tony, when Louise was telling me that you pioneered the New Thought movement by offering Dr. Emoto's work and sharing. To me, because I had all of his books, they all got ruined in the flood. I lost all my Dr. Emoto books. Isn't that a shame? But I have the memories of it. And it, to me, it changed What the Bleep Do We Know and Dr. Emoto both are responsible for helping me open my eyes to what is possible.
Well, I'll have to give Felicia all the credit for that. She's like, it's going to cost this much. And it was a lot of money, because you had to fly in from Japan and everything like that. And she was really, she's a Pisces, so she's all about the water. And so there you go. So my role in it was just saying yes and allowing it to happen. And that's often the case with our relationship. Felicia's got the idea, and or I'll have the idea. Sometimes, we both have the ideas, and then we each take on, what our abilities are. And Felicia's ability, as if you having met her, is that she's a visionary, and boy, she's really great with the details. And she's just boom, boom, boom. Let's make this happen. And that's exactly what happens. Recently, to segue into Dallas, and we were scheduled for April Expo, which got rescheduled to July, which then got rescheduled to a new venue because our original venue was not working, was not open this summer. And so Felicia just took each, it's like hitting a curveball. She just hit each one. All right, fine, we'll do it. And the July show was amazing. It was really a real interesting. I think she described it earlier a couple of weeks ago, and she showed off all the different stones that she got, things that she picked up.
Wow. Well, many years ago.
So speaking of venues, I understand that you guys. Go ahead, Lady Lou.
No. Well, anyway, many years ago, I met Dr. Emoto in Houston.
Oh, wow.
Come from Dallas down to Houston. I got to meet him.
Fantastic. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, so that makes sense. Yeah, because we flew him in, and then he probably did a little tour, and then he flew out. Yeah. So we all have Felicia to thank for those experiences.
Oh, wow, definitely. Thank you, Felicia. Because it was wonderful. Now, he didn't speak real good English, and I don't think his wife spoke English at all, but we had a delightful meeting.
Yeah. He gave his talk, and then we had an interpreter come in, and then we created the DVD. You might have purchased the DVD. We were selling that on our website.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
That's awesome. And, I love how he brought the concept of the importance of our words and our actions and our energy and our intent
Hmm.
into such a visual medium to
Hmm.
be able to help people see really what this does, what good energy does, and what negative energy does. And it's like who was it that said one time? Well, I'm sure it's been said by a lot of people, but I heard it said, if you could see what negative words and actions do to your body, you would stop immediately.
Right, right. And when we saw that in the crystals, it was so apparent, the positive energy and the negative energy and how the crystals formed. And we're seeing that now with, I'm studying some people who study numerology, and each of the words has an energy. And so it's amazing to see how the universe is, it's like this one story, like a hologram, so to speak, so you've got the energy of this and the energy of that. And when you visualize them, then you can really have a deeper understanding. When you saw the pictures, you didn't need words. It was like, okay, I get it, and I think that's really beautiful.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just so in your face if you're willing to look, if you're willing to see it.
Mm-hmm.
So I so admire that work. So I'm really exciting to me to know that you guys were connected with all that.
Yes.
Somebody's taken over his work over in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember if it was a family member or just somebody who decided to take up where he left off.
It's a niece.
His niece.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And she was on the Law of Attraction Radio Network not too long ago describing these children's books that they are producing and they're sending all over the world. And I thought, fantastic. Get them when they're young, because then it'll expand their mind as an adult.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. Yeah, we had worked with his son briefly. His son moved to Los Angeles, and the family was getting involved with it, and so that was many years ago, maybe 2004 or so. I mean, it's been a while since Felicia and I had done that, and we were selling his books and selling the whole package, online, and it was an amazing time because then I guess Felicia had written an article, or we had written an article, and that article we published throughout the United States in different like New Age magazines. So we'd send it out, and it turns out this one magazine in Seattle or Portland area had picked it up, and then that's where the people who saw it and they said, "Hey, we want to do the Bleep movie." So that's really where that came from.
Awesome. That was. It's just such important work. It's such important information, and the same information. And I say this all the time. They're going to put this on my. I'm going to be cremated. But if I had a headstone, if I had a headstone, it would say, "Can't be enough of us saying the right things in different ways."
Yeah.
So
exactly.
it's just so important that. That's a very visual thing. A lot of people are visual, some are audio. So the different ways and the different deliveries and the different voices are so important. So, and I think that's the importance of the Wellness Expo as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we bring together so many different modalities. So we had Paul Hubbard was at the show in Irving, and he has the sound bowls. And if you're familiar with those, I mean, the vibrations, and each of them are different sizes and the different notes. And so some people are they're more auditorily based, and so they pick it up that way.
Right, and that's also an energetic thing too, though. It's not just sound; it's actually the energy and the vibration that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very cool. Love the singing bowls. Yep. So I understand that you guys actually went to the Lone Star Convention Center this past weekend.
Oh.
This past weekend. I'll tell the story. Felicia doesn't even know this story.
Oh. Well, do tell them when it's a secret.
Yeah. So it's every morning, several times a week. I'm hearing an echo. Is it me?
Yeah, I hear it too.
I don't know if it would be me because I'm on the headset. I'll turn my sound down if that's possible. Okay. Anyway, so I work with a partner in Florida and another one in Shanghai, and we do some work with avatars. So we create, our intention for the day. And so on Thursday morning, I created the intention for the weekend. Actually, it was Friday, that it was going to go smoothly and synchronously. So put that into the universe. And Felicia and I drive up there Friday, and we meet the convention center people. And they're so excited to see us and to put out more flyers and cards and everything like that. And they're going to help us with the online advertising. And they said, tomorrow there's going to be a wonderful event here. You should, check it out. And they were setting up for the event. It was Montgomery County's Funky Junkie Festival. So it was
I would like that
really,
one.
it was really fun. There
Funky
was people
Junkie.
selling different artwork, and there was food, and there was collectibles, and it was everything. So we went there and we saw how they set it up, and we engaged with different vendors and just really and talked with the person running the show. And she was like, "Oh, you should know this and this and this, and these are the different venues in Houston, and this is what worked for me." And she's very wonderful and very warm to us, and we had an amazing time. And just in that experience, it felt like we were in the right place at the right time. So that was Saturday, and then a few minutes later, and we had about an hour to do that. Then we got back to the room, and it was everything was going, just perfectly. Everything was the timing was right, and for us to have the next experience. And so then we had our interview, and Felicia set up an interview with my mind is
Helen Race.
Helen Race.
Yes.
And so
I know. I have five.
Yes.
I have eyes in the back of my head.
So Helen, so thank you for all that, synchronicity there. Helen comes over, and we just had the best time. Spent the morning together and just talked about the expo, talked about, all the things that she is doing and what we're doing, and it all came together. It was beautiful. And then we were headed downtown to go, scout out some more places and maybe meet some more people. And the traffic was like this. And I was like, you know what? We're done. We're just going to have a fun time and play the rest of the weekend. And so we just went to the mall and we walked around and had a great time. And then we woke up early Sunday and went back. So we got it all done. Maybe, what's that 80-20 rule? We put in maybe 20% of what we thought we were going to put in, and we got it all back perfectly.
That's awesome. And so just to remind everybody, this is going to be Labor Day weekend, September 5th and 6th at the Lone Star Convention Center in Conroe. And so you're saying that you've seen their setup, and they are open, they are doing events, and what are their how are they approaching the social distancing and all that? Do they have a plan for that?
That's a great question. Harris County, downtown Houston is is under different governorship or under different stewardship than Montgomery County. And while it's very locked down in downtown area, Montgomery County does not have a mask rule. It's quite different. It's quite more open. So when we went to the convention center, there's no sign at the front that says, you have to wear a mask. When we went into the show, they encouraged masks and they encouraged social distancing, but it wasn't required. And everyone there at the show pretty much had a mask on, right, out of respect, for it. But it just turns out that Montgomery County is a lot, well, you guys know because you live there, is under different jurisdictions.
Okay, that's interesting. I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. I didn't either.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the masks are necessary when there's that many people in one big hall. So yeah. I'm kind of disappointed in that myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, every jurisdiction is different. Every jurisdiction has its own,
Well, Montgomery County is sort of a, I don't want to say cowboy, but it's not sophisticated, let's say that, as Houston Harris County.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And so, so we're obviously going to encourage masks, but what we said in July, and it really worked out, is just have respect for the other person, And it was amazing because the entire weekend went by and not a single person, felt shamed for wearing a mask or shamed for not wearing a mask. Everyone recognized that there were boundaries that we didn't want to cross. And if you saw the pictures, I think we posted some pictures on the Facebook. It's a huge hall that we had it in July, huge. And booths were separated by a tremendous amount of space, and it was wide open, and it felt maybe 3 or 4 or 5 times less crowded than a Costco or a Walmart, for sure.
That's good.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what we have to look forward to. It's going to be interesting, and I think people are going to be ready. So, and I just have to ask this question because I think it's, in all fairness, a question that we should ask. So you had that, you had the Dallas Expo mid-July, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're now more than 2 weeks after that. Have you had any fallout, any repercussions that you know of from that show?
No, none whatsoever.
Okay. That's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
That's good to know.
And the dynamic of the show was different. We've done the show for 26 years, and we pretty much know who to expect, at the show. And it was for sure a younger crowd. That's just the way it was. I mean, we expected that to be the case, but when we just know the world today, folks that are older and at risk feel safer being home, and I don't blame them. If I felt at risk, I would stay home too. So most of our attendees were ages 18 to 38, maybe at the top end. The bulk of them, and these are folks who they could get it. They could get it right in their face. Someone could sneeze right in their face. They could just get it, and they may not even show any symptoms. I mean, as we know, under 45, most people are not seeing anything, which is a wonderful thing, especially for the children as well. I mean, for the young people. But there's no doubt that if I were concerned, I would stay home.
Yeah, we've got to use our common sense, and that's what it's all about anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That's true. And that's kind of true in life, really. I'm starting to call it uncommon sense.
Yes,
I think we need to make it
agree
more
with
common.
you, Peggy.
I think we need to make it more common. Bring that back.
Yeah, bring some common sense back into this world. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
so
okay.
I've enjoyed watching the show. So enjoyed watching the engagement that you guys have, and we really appreciate all the things you've done to help raise the awareness and the vibration of what we're doing for the Houston area. We would never have gotten this far without each of you. So thank you very much.
Tell us a little bit about who's going to be there in the Houston, Conroe area. What kind of people, what kind of atmosphere do you see? Is there going to be music? Is there going to be speakers? What's going on?
Well, there are different types of shows and different vibes, and there's a local show here that is put on that has a lot of musicians and a lot of great energy dancers, belly dancers, that sort of thing. Felicia and I are a little more on the cerebral side, and so we really focus on having a great learning experience. So you're going to have vendors and the talks are generally very informative. You'll hear from people like Dr. August Dunning. August Dunning is a NASA scientist. He works with NASA to try to discover how can we protect astronauts from the radiation in space. Going to Mars, for instance, like that's just too far for them to make it without getting a radiation sickness. So they keep trying to discover, how to build stronger shielding. Dr. Dunning figured out that don't worry about the shielding because the ship gets too heavy. Figure out how to heal and regenerate the body after it gets the radiation.
No, interesting.
And so he studied what they call dry fasting. And dry fasting was perfected by some scientists in Russia. And they've created a protocol that you fast 7, 9, or 11 days with no food and no water.
Huh?
And in that time, the body creates its own water, like a camel when you turn the fat into water. And it heals many diseases as well as creating its own stem cells. The body can create its own stem cells. Instead of going to Mexico and getting $25,000 stem cell treatment, you can get your own stem cells with this protocol.
I want to know about that one, Tony.
You don't know about that one? That one's
themselves.
But I'm going to suggest to people to not necessarily try that at home if they don't. If they don't get the guidance,
It's not for everybody. You might want to try it one or 2 days at a time. But I did it a couple months back, and it's transformative. It's a spiritual experience because in the last few days you really don't need to sleep. You're not tired. You're not buzzed either. You're just not tired. It's pretty amazing.
I understand Ricky McKenna is going to be giving a talk on hydration. Speaking,
and so here we have exactly. Last week I saw Ricky on your show, and it was so fun. It was so fun to see her and hear that how important water is, and that is really the flip side, and also really the same coin. Because what happens when you fast is that your body takes advantage of what they call the endogenous water within. So if you are hydrating regularly with good clean water, that's Ricky's message. And here helping the body to detoxify and flush out all of the toxins,
the gunk,
and the gunk, whatever you want to call it, the viruses, etc. So that's going to be very exciting.
Yeah, well, maybe right about now we need to do a disclaimer that we're not doctors.
We're not doctors. We don't play one on TV either.
Yeah, really. Exactly. I like that. Okay, so I'd like to just back up and I love the fact that you and Felicia have done this Wellness Expo for all these years. So I'm a little curious because 26, 27 years, what would you say is the biggest change in what you were doing 26 years ago to now? What are people looking for? What's different?
Good question.
Yeah.
It's a great question. I think because the topics that we cover are so broad to the human experience that really it hasn't changed because people are seeking. So they come to the expo and they're like, I don't know, what's my next step? I lost my job. I lost my spouse, or what happened? And they come with questions, and the expo for them, it's like a Rorschach. You go in and you'll see just the right person for you. They'll find just the right psychic medium, or they'll get maybe there's some sort of other reading, or they'll get their aura photo taken, or something will happen. They'll meet just the right person. And so from the perspective of an attendee, it's like, what am I looking for? And again, if they go in with an open mind and that belief that they will find something, then the synchronicity for them will manifest. And speaking of synchronicity, Felicia is a master at putting people together just in the right place. She'll say, I think this person needs to have a booth here, or this person, and it often ends up that those people, become lifelong buddies or something like that.
I love that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So basically what you're saying is what people are seeking as far as the things that you provide at the Wellness Expo really hasn't changed that much in 26 years.
No, it hasn't changed. And what has changed over the years is that we've learned better how to make it go smoothly. So, whether we're putting people together in certain booths, or whether we're, how setup works, or how many helpers we have, or how we take people in at the door, just little things have changed over time. And some of the things that have gotten better you can't really explain. You can't put it down in a system. It's a little like the Avatar courses. You can take all the books, you can read every single Avatar book, but you may not get what you're supposed to get out of the class because it's a world experience. It's a world lesson. We say not a word lesson.
Right.
And so the world lesson that we've learned over the years is set the intention at the beginning of the show and set the intention throughout, as you guys have done so wonderfully. You can feel it in the show. It's like people come and they're engaging and it's so fun and it's light. And that's, and you guys, you do a mini show. You do a show every week, so what that means. It's so we set the intention and to have it go smoothly, to have it be for the highest good, and then that's what manifests.
I love that.
I do too.
That,
Tony, have you ever heard of the intenders of the highest good?
No.
So many years ago, I fell into this group that was forming here in Houston because this man named Tony was an avocado farmer in Hawaii, and he had a group of people that would get together and they would set intentions every time they met, and they just started intending things that were just really coming true. I mean, you couldn't deny it, like Dr. Emoto's photos, and you can't deny that. Mm-hmm. And so he intended on coming to the States, this part of the world, and he went from, I think it was New York to California, and he intended that he had a free ride the whole time. He had places to stay. He even intended on the color car that he would drive. He intended every single thing, and he did. He made it all the way across the United States, and each city that he went to, he started a new intenders group.
Oh, wow. So he spread that, not only experienced it, but he spread it to others.
Yeah. And then people started having meetings in their homes. So after he left, that was one big group, and then they started having little groups. And I went to one of them, and my biggest story is I went to pick up a friend of mine to go to an intenders group that night, and it was mid-July, and I was locked out of her, and I left my cell phone way back, 20 miles away. I wasn't going to go back for it, so I thought, well, it's 6:00. Somebody will open up the gate, because they're coming home from work, but they didn't. I'm just drenched. You know what it's like here in Houston in July.
Right.
I'm like, come on, gate. And I thought, no, wait a minute. I'm going to an intender circle. So why don't I intend? So I said, all right, within the next 60 seconds, this gate's going to open. And so I counted down on my clock, and I got about 45 seconds. So I started to get a little nervous. I said, nope. I gave it 60 seconds. And at right about 58 seconds, a brown Bronco, I'll never forget it, because that's when, brown Broncos were the big deal then. This guy stuck his hand out the window with his clicker, opened up the gate, and kept going.
Wow.
And I thought, whoa.
Good job.
So you can set intentions and really make it follow through to what it is that you're looking for. You really can.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful story, because we often forget that we can set the intention to be whatever we want. And, we try to sometimes create small, like, I wish I had a little more money, and I think it's Abraham Hicks, Abraham says it's the same energy to create, $10 as it is to create $10 million.
Ooh. Yeah. We need to start another intenders group, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
Yeah. Well, intentions are so important, and the fact that you set one for the Wellness Expo is just fabulous. I mean, I really think that's probably makes a huge difference.
Yes, and we're so grateful, to see it manifesting. I mean, I wouldn't be here today, right now, if we hadn't set an intention. So
right.
Thank you for being part of it.
Yeah. Hey, I intend for this to be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be fantastic and fun. We had maybe 60% of the people that we have at previous shows, thanks to the situation. But everyone who was there had an amazing time. So, even though there were fewer vendors and fewer people, each person who came in, got the experience that they came for. And so, sometimes a vendor will say, well, what was the ticket count at the door? And I look and I go, oh, I forgot to count. I mean, obviously later on we know, but I mean, we're not sitting there with the clicker. That's not what the show's about. It's about the energy and the vibration of who's coming in and how they're experiencing it.
And that's the way a wellness expo should be.
Should be, right? That's exactly.
Well,
I love that. And I think it's so timely because we've got all this stuff going on, just stuff, the whole COVID thing and arguments and all this stuff going on. So it's going to be really nice to have a space where people can come and just let go of all that stuff and just be together at whatever distance they're comfortable.
Exactly.
And enjoy that, because we have been very isolated.
Yeah.
And human connection is important to most of us.
Yes, I mean, human connection is very, very important, and feeling someone's space, being in someone's space, and reading, just that the vibration is, you can do it over Zoom. You can do it, in this arena that we're doing here with our StreamYard. It's beautiful, and yet there is something about being right in the same space, co-creating. That's just the way it is.
Shared energy. I mean, not that you have to see each other to share energy. You can do that across space and time for sure. But there's something a little bit different about, being able to visually see the person as well, or people. That's what we have bodies for, So,
yeah, we're here to experience the feeling, right? The smells, the feeling, the touch. That's why we have a human body.
Yes. Yeah.
And whoever doled out the dial, like some people have very few feelings, they don't really get upset about much, and nothing can bother them. And then you have people like, ow, that hurts. Well, I just touched you. I know, but that hurt. That's me. Whoever whoever doled out the feelings gave it to me, like big time. Was like, whoa, I can feel everything. And sometimes that's a great thing, and sometimes that's that's a little much now. Your energy's hurting me.
Yeah. Well, as you said, as a Pisces, you're feeling the energy fields. You're more closely than others.
Yes. I literally feel it.
Yeah. And that's true. I think with highly intuitive people, anyway, we're just more energetically sensitive as well.
We have a few people in the audience. This is Lauren Vines. Hi, Lauren.
Hello, Lauren.
She's in Mesquite, Tony.
Oh, wow.
Mesquite area. That's
neighbor.
A little suburb of Dallas. And then we also have, hey, Lauren, she's intending is so empowering. Yes, I agree. And we also have Karen. Karen says, what's the difference between powerful prayer and intention? Is it the same thing?
I would say that those labels generally describe the same thing. It depends on your background. If some people pray powerfully with an intention and a hope, and turning it over to a higher power, and very closely aligned.
I want people to know that you can reach out to Tony. As you can tell, he's a very, very friendly guy, and I'm sure he'd love to talk to you about coming to the Wellness Expo or maybe something else. You just never know. So his phone number, in case you're not in front of your computer right now, is down in the description below. We're on YouTube and we're on Facebook. We also have a podcast that goes out to all your favorite places. And I'm going to tell you what his phone number is just in case. It's 972-925-9393. And you can still get tickets to the Wellness Expo at thewellnessexpo.net.
And they're free, aren't they, Tony?
Yes. We're giving away free passes. You can sign up for your free pass until Friday at midnight before the show. And then, if you get them this day of the show, then it's $7 at the door or $10 for the weekend.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome.
Oh, this is
That's
beautiful.
just great. I'm so excited. I really am. I'm like a kid on Christmas, or a kid anticipating Christmas.
Yes, yes, I agree with that.
Oh,
Well, now is the time that we're going to go into our meditation. Tony, I hope you'll stay around. Um,
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you.
I want to ask everyone who's watching or listening to us now to listen and really feel what Peggy is going to take us through. It's a beautiful, beautiful meditation, and I look forward to it every week.
yeah.
So just
Oh,
relax.
thank you.
And Peggy will take
Thank
us
you all.
out. So we'll say goodbye
Mhm.
now. As
So long,
Marian
everyone.
put a picture up. But we love you.
Thanks, and
Thank you.
I love you all.
we'll
Take
see.
care.
We'll see you in September. Yeah. Okay, so everybody, this is just a way to really share energy, whether we're sitting in the same room or across the planet. So I would ask everyone to just relax and close your eyes, get as comfortable as you can, laying down, sitting down, and start breathing deeply. And for this particular connection, I'll ask that you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And as you breathe in, really focus on your breath. More than my voice, focus on your breath. So that your inhale and your exhale are equal lengths. Gentle, long, deep breaths. And as you inhale, begin to feel the warmth of this beautiful white healing love light that enters your body, saturates your body, and cocoons your body. And as you exhale, you are supercharging that beautiful white love light. It's sending it out to us. And as we breathe in and out, we are creating a giving and receiving love connection. So breathe it in. And with every in breath and every out breath, feel your body relax just a little bit more, a little more warm. Breathe it in. And this time, when we breathe out, send that love out to the whole planet. Let's cocoon and saturate the whole planet. This beautiful white light surrounding and filling the planet, all the plants, the trees, the animals, the water, and every human being. There's an endless supply of this love energy, and we can tap into it anytime. But it becomes even more powerful when we share it. So breathe in what I'm sending you now. Let it saturate you and send it back. And we have created an energetic force field that is pure love. Feel yourself relax, a little warmer, almost as if your body is becoming liquid. And breathe it in again. And send it to me. And send it out to the planet. And every time we inhale and exhale, we are supercharging that love energy with our intention. And when we receive it from each other, we receive with the intention of being in this giving and receiving mode. Equal share, out and in. And breathe it in one more time. And take this energy then with you into your night, into your day tomorrow. Spread it around. There's plenty more where that came from. Thank you for joining us this evening. Have a wonderful night.